Always remember, your focus determines your reality. Stay close to me, and you'll be safe.
Hey guys, how you doing? In this video today, we're gonna go and continue the series with the GA faction guides and the Zeta Order, the mod guide, you know, how to use them, and everything like that. We're gonna actually now go on to the First Order faction. And in this faction, it's a pretty easy faction, I'd say. There's nothing too crazy about it. We can go more in depth on the mods once we get there, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you want to, feel free to like and share it with others, and if you like this type of content, feel free to sub if you're new here. And other than that, guys, let's get into it. So right now in the game, we have 8 First Order people, or toons, characters, whatever you want to call them. The only 2, possibly 3, I would say to not really worry about is going to be the one down here, First Order Special Forces TIE Pilot. Right now in this game, I just don't like him in the crew team, because crew is going to be your leader. I just don't really find him to be very useful. He does have, I think there's a stun here on one of these abilities, I'm not sure. Yeah, stun and assist, I guess that's okay. I just don't think it's too great. And then the other one here is Captain Phasma. This was a really good leader when she was first out. Her Zeta was okay back in the day. Now it's not really as good. It's kind of a wasted Zeta now that we have crew in the game. This was a cool ability. It still is 50% TM. Other than that, though, I would really stay away from using her. There's a lot better people to use here. And then as a third one, I would say to try to not use First Order TIE Pilot. He is a really fun character to use. He can hit pretty freaking hard, man. Keen Eye, if the Zeta's on him, you get some more foresight whenever he loses advantage. That's pretty cool. But really, the ones you want to be looking out here for is going to be the main 5. And starting off with, of course, Crew, OG Kylo, First Order Stormtrooper, Executioner, and Officer. Those 5 are going to be the main ones you want to talk about. So now that we know the 5 you want to be using here, let's go into the starting one, which is going to be the leadership here on Crew, and then we'll go from there. So here we go. We can go into Crew right now. The Zeta Order for this entire team here, you really only need 1, maybe 2 if you want to, and if you already have Kylo Ren. But really, the only one that really is needed and is a must-have, you can't live without it, is going to be his leadership on Merciless Pursuit. This adds extra speed, extra crit damage, extra TM gain, and when a First Order ally gains a status effect, they recover 5% HP and protection. So that's kind of similar to the boss leadership in a way. But the main thing here is the TM gain, crit damage, and speed. The speed is especially helpful when you have Officer in the team, because he's going to be the one you want to be the fastest. So now that we have Crew out of the way, let's go on to OG Kylo. OG Kylo is not necessary of a Zeta here. You don't need to worry about his Zeta too much. Whenever he, where is it, on Outrage, whenever he does damage with this ability, he gains that back in protection, which is okay. Back in the day, it was really good. You could solo, I think it was the P1 of the HAT. Nowadays, it's not a must-have. It's still pretty good. I just wouldn't say it's like a must-have in this team. It definitely helps out, though. Everybody besides Crew, Zeta on the lead really helps out. And then Stormtrooper here. Another is a nice Zeta here on Return Fire. Whenever First Order, or whenever this Stormtrooper uses an ability, he has a 50% chance to call a random ally to assist, dealing less damage. Unless they're First Order, then they grant them advantage for 2 turns. So that's pretty cool. A lot of extra assists with this guy, and we'll go and talk about mod order last. So yeah. So now that we really know that Crew's leadership is a must-have Zeta here, and the only Zeta you really got to worry about, we can go and talk about the other Zetas. We just kind of really quickly and briefly went over Kylo Ren and Stormtrooper. There is one on FOTP, the TIE Pilot. Don't worry about him too much. It's okay. The other one, which is very nice to have, and I like him a lot, is the pre-taunt here on Scarred, unique for Crew. He gains taunt for 1 turn at the start of each encounter, so that's a pre-taunt, and has double counter chance when he's taunting. So when he's taunting, he actually gains 100% of the counter chance, and whenever he uses a basic ability, he gains taunt for 1 turn if the target was already debuffed. So a lot of cool things here with the taunt unique on the Zeta, which is one of my favorites for this faction. If you really have just the 2 Zetas on the crew, that's all you really need, in my opinion. You don't need Kylo Ren, the OG version, and you don't really need First Order Stormtrooper. Those are just like nice ones to have, extras, if you will. Just the ones you want to focus down on are crew. I think those 2 are really important to this team, making sure that, you know, Executioner and Officer stay alive for most of the battle, doing their you know, the buffs, the big hits, stuff like that. So when it comes to modding this team, it's nothing too in-depth. We can go more in-depth on the how you want to use them and the strategy for that. But for the overview of how you want to mod these guys, it's pretty simple. For crew, you want HP and speed. Mine, you can see here on screen, are not what you would want to use here, and not what I recommend. But I need to change them all around here shortly for the new GA. So yeah, don't take what I have on screen as what you should be using. What you should be using here is health and speed on crew, and then we come over to FOST, and here you want defense and speed. I somewhat have this okay and down. Maybe a little bit more speed to this would be nice, but you want to run speed and defense here on him. And then for OG Kylo here, you want this kind of the same thing, a lot of protection, a lot of defense here. If you do have this special outrage Zeta, you get a lot more protection gain when he uses that. That's kind of why I have his protection kind of high right now. Other than that, here we have FO Executioner, First Order Executioner here. A lot of HP on this guy. If you go to his unique here, he gains 10% health stacking until the end of the encounter whenever he scores a critical hit, and he gives some extra TM whenever he does a critical hit as well. So that's really nice to know here. So what you would want to go for is a lot of HP, some offense if you have any to spare on him, and besides that, always want to go for some crit damage. He's going to do some nice big hits here. So there you have it for him. And then last but not least is going to be the Officer. Very simple. You just want to be very, very quick off the gate. And you do want him to have some potency. And the reason for the potency is something we'll get onto a little bit later. This move right here, pinning shot, is really why you want the potency here. But we'll talk about it later. So we briefly went over like a overview of the mod guide. I'm going to just briefly pull up a little screenshot of what you kind of want to be doing in-depthly with your mods and the speeds and turn order. And then later on we'll show you some footage of it in action. So, big shout out to R3S6 was innocent from the First Order server. He has a lot of cool information on you know, how to mod these guys, Zetas, stuff like that. Just all around First Order, he's a go-to guy for this. So we'll pull it up on screen and I'll read it a little bit. Basically what you want to have happen is have your officer being the fastest, using the pinning shot, removing some TM, and then gaining 15% TM. And the reason that you're going to be getting 15% TM is from his pinning shot here. If any TM was removed, it says each ally gains 15% TM. And so after that, what you want to do is make sure that your OG Kylo is somewhat fast enough so that after that pinning shot, he'll be able to go and then do his lash out ability here. And then that gives a little bit more TM here. We'll show you right here. A little bit more TM. And if they do have advantage, that's even more TM gain. After that, it's pretty easy. Most of your guys on your team are going to have 100% TM, have their turns ready to go. You know, Executioner, you want to typically use his big damage hit there. The, what's it called? Got to pull it up here. The death sentence, the big hit there. You know, dispel some buffs depending on who you're fighting. And then after that, you just want to keep cycling back and forth to your OG Kylo, getting some more TM gain there. And then once you get Crew's turn, you get a big nice stun there, a 2-turn stun. And then Stormtrooper is there to soak up a lot of the big hits. And if you have the Zeta there, you get more assists in there. And also even more TM gain from his special. So, like I said, I'm not going to read all of this, but it's here on the screen if you guys want to go check it out. Go join the Discord server for the First Order. A lot more information in-depthly on that. So, let's get on with the video and show you guys some footage of it. So before we go into any of the videos, just briefly let's go to the GA counter chart and the TW one as well. We can see here in the center of the screen the crew team, and on the left side here with the CLS is the hard counters, on the right is the soft counter. So yeah, I mean, some of these people can, you know, just burn through a crew team, some of them can't. This is a soft counter to the crew team, is a Finn. This is kind of outdated. This is a little while ago, but it just goes to show you that some of this you can beat, and it's pretty cool to see as well. So also, you go down to the RJT team. You have crew team, that's a soft counter. What else? We can go down here. The bounty hunters, another soft counter for the crew team. Ewoks, you can soft counter them as well. And there you guys have it. We will be showing you this team versus the Traya team. So like I said earlier about the pinning shot, really it doesn't matter too much. What you're missing out on is 5% TM gain, and chances of you landing that can be kind of risky, like RNG type of stuff there. It would work out for your benefit if it did stick and you did remove some TM. But all around, as long as you're getting more TM gain, you know, using OG special, OG Kyle special, using, you know, Executioner with his crits, a lot of TM gain here on the team. And nice to use this as counter to Traya if you do fight Trayas, because you could soak up the Isolate with Stormtrooper in there. And a lot of, you know, a lot of tanky people in here. You get Crew being tanky, Stormtrooper being tanky, and OG Kylo is always tanky. And then over time, you'll build up a lot of HP on your Executioner. He's going to be a lot of HP on there, so he's pretty tanky. So typically, I like to use my first order on defense and throwing them in with, like, you know, Bounty Hunters and Bosk or Django, whichever one I wanted to use in that GA. But here we have, you know, an offensive showcase of them beating a Traya team here. So on screen right now, we have the tier list for GA. And Chesser from Discord made this, and he's a pretty cool guy. Put this all together. So far we just finished up with the first order one, and we did a bounty hunter one. If you guys want any others, just let me know. We can, you know, focus on one of them. A little bit ago also I did a Padme one as well. But just let me know if you guys want to do any specific factions here. We can go over the Zeta order and the mod guide and the general strategy to the team. So there you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, it's a fun first order video. I like this faction a whole lot. I think they'll only get better with the upcoming movie coming out later this year. So there you guys have it. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a like, share with others, and if you like this type of content, feel free to, you know, give me a sub. Other than that, you have a Discord link in the description, and same with Patreon if you want to, you know, support me there as well. But I think that's it for now, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. See you later.
Nice.